All right, so now we're going to talk about guided math. I'm going to tell you what it is, how you implement guided math in a classroom, and why guided math is so important. So how guided math works is that in the end, you'll split your students up into groups based on their instructional level in math. So you'll have all of your high-level students in one group, middle in another, and your low-level students in another group. Typically, you have about 4 to 5 groups. You're going to have stations around the room where these groups go and they work on different math problems. A key thing with guided math is it really helps with differentiated instruction because you can target each individual student's needs with the level they are at in math. So what does it look like in a classroom? Typically every day you teach a mini lesson in math to the entire class, and then you would split your groups up into stations around the room. The 4 stations you could possibly have is a technology station where students would be working on the computer, completing math problems. Another station would be kids playing math games using manipulatives. And another station can be students working on individual work. And the main station is when there's a group sitting at a table with a teacher working on problems that is needed for that specific group needs. The students can rotate around these stations about every 15 minutes, but it's in the end, it's all up to the teacher on what the teacher thinks is best for her students. Assessment is very important throughout guided math just so you can know where your students are. So I recommend keeping a running record of all students and do this by having a portfolio for each student so you can keep track of where students are at. You could even adjust groups based on if students make a lot of progress. Assessment allows teachers to know what students need to be in groups. So setting up guided math does take a lot of training for the students. So first, I recommend setting your expectations as a class, working through those rules together. It's going to take a lot of practice. You're not going to want to dive into stations all at once and just throw kids in there. So you're going to work to do each station at once. So what I recommend is maybe for one day, all students do a technology station. The next day, all students work on a game station. And once you get each station set in stone and the students know what they're doing, then you can start splitting up into groups and working with kids at your table as the teacher. Why is guided math so important? Well, there's quite a few reasons, but here's a couple. So guided math challenges each student at their instructional level. Guided math helps work to use differentiated instruction to focus on each student's needs. It builds confidence, and the main goal of guided math is for students to become mathematicians through conceptual understanding, procedural fluency, and reasoning. I highly recommend using guided math in your classroom.